Dubai is a famous city in the desert. It is known for its beautiful and modern look. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. It stands like a giant needle made of glass and steel reaching for the sky. At night, its surface shines with many colorful lights. Below this huge building, there are the famous Dubai fountains. Every evening, the fountains shoot water high into the air. The water dances perfectly with music. It is a magical show that thousands of tourists and residents watch every day. This picture of Dubai shows what people can build. It looks like a perfect place. This is the Dubai that everyone knows and sees in pictures. The city has big, clean shopping malls and amazing hotels. Some hotels are even under the water. Everything looks new and carefully planned. But for many years, this perfect city had a big secret. It was a secret that was not beautiful at all. This hidden secret was a serious problem with the city's waste. The city did not have enough pipes under the ground to take away dirty water, called sewage. So thousands of special trucks had to do this job. Every day, these trucks collected sewage from the new buildings. Then they drove in long lines on the roads. The image was very different from the pictures of the fountains. Long lines of sewage trucks stretched for many kilometers in the desert sun. The drivers often waited for many hours, sometimes all day, just to empty their trucks. This was the city's paradox. Dubai looked like a city from the future. It had the world's most modern buildings. But it used a very old method to handle its waste. It was a city that could build amazing things high in the sky. But it had a very big problem with something simple, deep under the ground. This is the story of Dubai's secret problem and the city's fight to fix it. 2. A fast city. Dubai did not grow slowly. It grew very, very fast. In 1975, about 183,000 people lived in the city. But by 2015, the population was over 2 million. This was a huge change in only 40 years. The city itself also got much bigger. New buildings and roads took over the desert land. The city's leaders had a simple plan. If they built amazing things, people would come to Dubai, and they did. The city started many huge construction projects that changed it forever. They built the Palm Jumeirah, a large island made by people. It looks like a palm tree from above and added hundreds of kilometers of new beaches. They also built Dubai Marina, a completely new part of the city with many tall towers. Over 120,000 people could live there. Other new areas like downtown Dubai and Business Bay appeared all at once. This very fast growth created a big problem. The city was building tall towers faster than it could build the important things under the ground. New buildings need water pipes, electric cables, and sewage pipes. But it is very difficult and slow to put large pipes under a city that is already built. The city's infrastructure, especially the sewage system, could not keep up with all the new skyscrapers. Because building was so fast, developers often did not wait for the city to connect their new buildings to the main sewer system. They needed a solution right away. So they used a temporary one: trucks. Many new, expensive buildings used trucks to collect and take away their sewage. This was supposed to be for a short time, but the city grew so fast that this temporary solution continued for years. Dubai built a modern airport, big highways, and a new metro. But for its sewage, it was using a very old system. 3. The big problem. The center of the big problem was a place called the Al Awir Sewage Treatment Plant. It was the only plant to clean wastewater for the entire city. This plant was built years ago for a much smaller Dubai with fewer people. But the city did not stay small. It grew very fast, with new skyscrapers and millions of new residents. The old plant was not big enough for the new, larger city. It was completely overloaded. Every day, it received almost 2 times more sewage than it could safely handle. The system was failing. All the waste from Dubai's shiny new buildings was collected in large trucks. These trucks then had to drive to the Al Awir plant to empty their tanks. The number of trucks was huge. Nearly 10,000 of them went to the plant every single day. Because the plant was too full and worked very slowly, the trucks had to wait in a queue. These were not short queues. The lines of waiting trucks stretched for miles across the desert. This unusual sight was a clear sign that Dubai had a serious problem. For the truck drivers, the job was a nightmare. They had to sit in their trucks for a very long time. A normal wait was 12 hours, but some drivers had to wait for up to 18 hours, often in the hot desert sun. It was a very difficult situation. The plant was not ready for so many trucks. It only had 40 pumps to serve the thousands of vehicles that arrived each day. This small number of pumps made the process extremely slow and created the long delays. The drivers became very tired and frustrated. Their job was almost impossible to do. This was the secret reality behind the beautiful city. Tourists saw tall, modern buildings, but the truck drivers saw a broken system. The city's basic services could not keep up with its amazing growth. The pressure on the drivers and the old plant was getting worse. The whole system was ready to break, and the city needed a solution quickly. 4. A dirty secret. The situation at the Al Awir sewage plant was getting worse. The long lines of trucks were more than just a traffic problem. They created a new, secret problem for Dubai. The truck drivers were very tired and frustrated. Waiting for up to 18 hours in the hot desert was very difficult. It also meant they could not earn enough money for their families. A driver needed to make many trips in one day to get paid well, but the long lines made this impossible. They could now only complete one trip each day. Some drivers became desperate. They decided to break the law to solve their problem. They created a dirty secret. Late at night, when most people were sleeping, these drivers did not go to the Al Awir plant. Instead, they drove their heavy trucks to quiet industrial parts of the city. They looked for storm drains in the road. These drains were made to take away clean rainwater. They were not built for human waste. The drivers quickly opened the heavy manhole covers and dumped all the raw sewage from their trucks. It flowed directly into the drains. To avoid getting caught, some drivers even covered their license plates with black plastic. This secret action had terrible consequences for the environment. The storm drains were not connected to a treatment plant. They were just pipes that went straight to the sea. All the illegal, untreated sewage polluted the waters of the Persian Gulf. Soon, Dubai's beautiful coastline was contaminated. The water near the city's expensive hotels and homes became dirty and smelled bad. It was not just a bad smell. The water was now full of dangerous bacteria that could make people very sick. This created a serious public health risk. The pollution quickly became a disaster for Dubai's perfect image. Jumeirah Beach is a world-famous place for tourists, but the water there became unsafe for swimming. Water tests showed very high levels of harmful bacteria. The government had no choice. They had to close the popular beach again and again to protect residents and tourists. The waste in the water also helped bad algae to grow. This red tide turned the clear blue water a dirty brown-red color in some areas. This was very bad for business. Dubai's secret was no longer hidden in the desert. It was now a very public problem on the city's most famous beaches. 5. A plan to fix it. The government of Dubai knew it had to do something. The city's clean image was in danger. Important beaches were closed because the ocean water was full of pollution. The news talked about the dirty water. The lines of sewage trucks at the Al Awir plant were a famous bad picture of Dubai. The system was completely broken. It was an emergency. The city's leaders needed a plan, and they needed it fast. They had to stop the illegal dumping and fix the big problem. This was the only way to protect the city's future and its people. The first step was a temporary solution. It was a plan to help immediately. Far away from the city, in the desert, the government ordered workers to build a huge lagoon. A lagoon is like a very large, open pool in the ground. This was not a modern building. It was just a big pit in the sand to hold the sewage. It was an emergency place for 500 trucks to empty their waste each day. This helped make the long lines at the main plant a little shorter. It was not a clean or permanent answer, but it gave the city's engineers time. They needed this time to start working on the real long-term plan. The real plan was much more impressive. It was a very ambitious project for the future of Dubai. The city decided to build a completely new sewage treatment plant. It was named the Jebel Ali Sewage Treatment Plant. The plan was to make it one of the largest and most advanced plants in the entire world. This was not just a small fix. The first part of the new plant was designed to process a huge amount of waste, 300,000 cubic meters every day. This was more than the old Al plant could handle even when it was first built. This showed how serious the government was about solving the problem forever. This new plant was more than just a building. It would finally connect the new, modern parts of Dubai, like the Dubai Marina, to a proper sewage system. The trucks would no longer be necessary for these big communities. The Jebel Ali plant was designed to not only clean the water, but also to grow with the city. Planners made sure it could be made bigger in the future as Dubai got more residents and skyscrapers. The time for temporary fixes was over. Dubai was now ready to build the invisible infrastructure needed to support its amazing visible city. 6. Building the future. Dubai's leaders knew that temporary solutions were not enough. The city needed a big, permanent plan to fix the sewage problem forever. They started a massive engineering project. The center of this plan was the new Jebel Ali sewage treatment plant. It was designed to be one of the biggest and most modern treatment plants in the world. Building the new plant was a race against time because the city was still growing fast. Engineers used special, fast construction methods to build everything quickly. For example, they used a technique that allowed them to build very large concrete structures in just a few days. This was a new idea for this kind of building in the region, and it worked very well. It helped them finish the project much faster. But the new plant was only one part of the solution. The city also needed a huge network of pipes to carry the sewage to the plant. This was a very difficult job. Workers had to build hundreds of kilometers of large pipes deep under the ground. These new pipes connected all the new areas of Dubai, like Dubai Marina and downtown Dubai, to the treatment system. It was like building a secret highway for wastewater under the busy city. The technology inside the Jebel Ali plant was also very advanced. It used special filters and processes to clean the water. This new system made the wastewater very clean. After treatment, the water was safe enough to be used again for things like watering parks and gardens. This was a big improvement. When the construction was finished, the sewage trucks finally disappeared from the roads. The long, slow lines of trucks in the desert were a thing of the past. The new system worked perfectly. With the Jebel Ali plant and the improved Al Awir plant working together, Dubai had more than enough capacity to handle all its waste. The city had successfully built the infrastructure for its future. 7. A new problem. The new sewage system was a big success. The long lines of trucks were gone, and the new Jebel Ali plant cleaned the city's wastewater very well. The water was so clean that the city could use it again. This recycled water was perfect for many things. It watered the green parks and beautiful gardens all over Dubai. It was also used in cooling systems for the city's tall buildings. The old problem of the sewage trucks was finally over. The city had solved one of its biggest challenges. But solving one problem showed another one. Dubai is in a desert, and it does not rain very often. The city needed a lot of fresh water for its people, homes, and famous tourist attractions. The population was still growing, so the city needed more and more water every year. Where could Dubai get all this fresh water? The answer was the sea. Dubai is next to the Persian Gulf, which has a lot of seawater. The city built large plants to take the salt out of the seawater. This process is called desalination. These plants made billions of gallons of fresh drinking water. It seemed like a perfect solution for a city in the desert. However, desalination created a new kind of waste. When the plants removed the salt, they were left with very, very salty water. This waste product was called brine. The plants put this brine back into the ocean. This started to cause serious problems for the sea life near the coast. The extra salt made the ocean water unhealthy for many plants and animals. The beautiful coral reefs, which were homes for many fish, began to die. The brine helped create large dead zones in the sea. In these areas, the water was so salty and warm that almost nothing could live. Dubai had fixed its sewage problem, but now it had a new water problem. The city learned that sometimes a solution can create a different challenge. Dubai needed to find a way to get fresh water for its people without hurting the ocean. 8. The final lesson. Dubai's story is a big journey. It began with a serious problem. Thousands of sewage trucks were on the roads every day. The city looked beautiful and modern with its tall buildings, but it had a dirty secret. The old sewage system was too small for the fast-growing population and new developments. This created long lines of trucks and caused terrible pollution. Famous beaches had to close because the water was not safe for people. But Dubai did not ignore the problem for long. The city's leaders decided to take action. They made an ambitious plan. They built one of the biggest sewage treatment plants in the world, the Jebel Ali plant. They also built a very large network of pipes deep under the ground to connect all the buildings. Soon, the thousands of trucks disappeared from the roads. The water became clean again, and the beaches reopened. The city turned a very big problem into a success story. The most important lesson from Dubai is simple and clear. Infrastructure must come first. It is not a good idea to build amazing skyscrapers and then worry about the sewage pipes later. A city must build the important, invisible things under the ground before it builds the beautiful things above the ground. If cities plan well before they build, they can avoid a crisis like Dubai's. Dubai's story is a warning for other fast-growing cities around the world. It shows the danger of developing without a good plan. But it is also an example of success. It shows that it is possible to fix even very big mistakes with new technology, money, and hard work. Dubai learned a final, valuable lesson. To be a truly great and sustainable city, it must always plan carefully for the future. What do you think is the most important lesson from Dubai's story?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.